to you, basketball fans. Welcome inside the Burns Arena. Dixie State women's basketball back in action after the new year. Big exhibition win on Monday night. Now back to Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference play tonight on January 3rd inside the Burns Arena. Full crew back together tonight. Carrick Segmiller alongside Drayson Ball as we get set to bring you Trailblazer women's basketball action here from the Burns Arena. Tonight's opponent, the Mountain Lions of UC Colorado Springs, coming to us from Colorado Springs, Colorado. The Mountain Lions 1-10 overall, 0-5 in the RMAC, 1 out of their last 9, and 0-5 in their last 5 matchups. Certainly in the new year, new resolutions, they'll be rejuvenated, motivated, and excited to try to get back in the win column. It'll be up to Dixie State to play its game to make sure that that does not happen. We bring in Drayson Ball into the broadcast inside our TDS pregame show. Drayson, good to have you back on the broadcast after the break over Christmas and over New Year's and through the exhibition game. Great to have you back. This is a game that on paper you look at and, Dixie State shouldn't have too much of a problem with that. Some of those you can fall into those trap mentality. What will it take tonight for Dixie State to not fall into that mentality of this being a trap game?
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely got it right, and he nailed it on the head right there. Colorado School of Mines coming in tomorrow, one of the big rivals for Dixie State in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. He's bringing a team today like UCCS that is just 1-10 on the season. You think, hey, we got a really good chance to get our 9th victory of the season going into a big rivalry game tomorrow. But it's not a team that you can overlook. It's certainly a team you feel like you have a great chance against. You match up well against. You're playing some of your better basketball of the season. You've won 3 games in a row after dropping the first 2 games in conference play, and so you got a chance right now after a big long break. You had the exhibition the other day to kind of get tuned back up and get into game shape again. You have a good opportunity to get back in the win column and mark your 4th consecutive win in conference play against UCCS tonight.
Indeed it is. Dixie State and UCCS tonight. UC Colorado Springs. Of course, Dixie State 8-3 overall, 3-2 in the RMAC. Started 0-2 in RMAC play, like Drayson said, have won their last 3 games. 7-3 in their last 10 games. Let's take a look at the head-to-head matchup. Take a look at some of the key statistical categories. Of course, points per game. Dixie State averaging 71.3 points per game while holding opponents to 58.7 points per game. Meanwhile, it's kind of the exact opposite on the other side of the coin. UCCS averaging 56.6 points per game offensively, but giving up 70.5 points per game. So that's, you look at that category, and that's something that's almost an exact opposite. Dixie State will have to continue to just play its game, and we'll mention this a little bit later inside our Lonnie Boys Barbecue's key to the game, but not play down to an opponent. It's not just Dixie State, but you have a tendency sometimes, especially after a break, you're trying to get back, trying to find your rhythm. That's why they had this exhibition game on Monday to try to shake some of that rust. You don't want to play down. And this is a UCCS team that they might be 1-10, but they know how to play. There are players on this team. This team is only 3 years removed from winning a game in the NCAA tournament. So they went 26-7 during the 2016-2017 season. So there are players still on this team that know how to win. It just has not been clicking. And it's all been put together for this UCCS squad tonight. They've showed moments, they've showed quarters, they've showed halves, but not been able to put it all together to pick up more than just one win. They're winless in conference play, so they're hungry. So for Dixie State, you got to make sure that what's on paper stays that way and that you don't allow any extra life. You take a look at some of the others statistical categories. Dixie State shooting over 40% at 42% from the field. Meanwhile, UCCS 33% from the field. Got to take advantage of that. From beyond the arc, Dixie State's 35%, UCCS is 30%. Free throw percentage, Dixie State 71%, UCCS 64%. Dixie State's averaging 41.5 rebounds per game and 5.4 rebounds more than their opponents. Meanwhile, UCCS 38.2 points per game and just a slim 1.2 rebounds less rebounds than their other teams. So they're not bad on the boards. Dixie State will have their hands full on the boards tonight. Dixie State 14 points per game, 14 assists per game. Meanwhile, UCCS 10 assists per game. UCCS is turning the ball over 18 times a game. Right? Meanwhile, Dixie State just 14.5. That's something that Dixie State will try to take care of tonight, and that will segue into Drayson. Toss it over to you for our Lonnie Boys Barbecue keys to the game.
Well, like you mentioned earlier, Carrick, you got to not play down to your competition. This Dixie State team, on occasion, has had the tendencies to kind of play down to their competition. They need to be able to not do that tonight. In order to beat this team, you don't want to make it easier on them than you already have to. Like you mentioned, the 18 turnovers a game, that's a huge number, even for collegiate or even for women's or even for any level of basketball. 18 turnovers per game is huge. Exploit the turnover battles. Don't give the ball back to them when you're on your offensive end, and make them commit turnovers and mistakes throughout the game. Second key to the game, make it tough on them offensively. I love the stat you mentioned earlier, Carrick. UCCS only shooting 33% from the field, not from three, from the field. They're not a great scoring team. Only have one player averaging double figures. That's Abby Feigert at just over 11 points per game. No one else in double figures for the Mountain Lions, so make it tough on them offensively. Don't let them get in a rhythm early. Don't give them easy looks. Play clamp down defensively and then execute your offense on the other end, but make it tough on them offensively.
Of course, the Trailblazers, if those are your Lonnie Boy barbecues, keys to the game. The Trailblazers have a little bit of a score to settle with the Mountain Lions. You look back at last year, this series only one game old. Last year was the first meeting between the two teams during the 2018-19 season, and that game was played in Colorado Springs. It was a game that was close all through the game and into the second half. Dixie State had chances to pull ahead, just could not. They fell 59-54 after a big third quarter by UCCS. The Trailblazers have a score to settle. That, in fact, you go back and you look at that whole trip. Dixie State was in the game, could have, should have won Friday night against UCCS, and then the next night in Golden, Colorado, had opportunities to win that game, had a lead in the second half, couldn't hold it. They lost to Colorado School of Mines as well. So this weekend, Dixie State's got a little bit of a score to settle. This is one of those games where these two teams aren't in Dixie State's pod or division, if you will. They'll only see these teams once during the regular season. So you got to take advantage of those, and especially Dixie State has got to take advantage of home court. Can't lose. You've already dropped home games to Westminster and to South Dakota Mines here inside the Burns. If you can, you can't afford it to lose any more on this floor, and that's what they'll try to not do tonight. That will do it for a short TDS pregame show. We will take a 2-minute break for the national anthem, and we'll come back with your Boulevard Home starting lineups and get you set for tip-off. Dixie State and UC Colorado Springs getting set to do action inside the Burns Arena. 2-minute timeout and back.
When Southern Utah thinks of home furnishings, they think of Boulevard Home. But when Boulevard Home thinks about home, Southern Utah comes to mind. In 1974, local pioneer descendant Tony Whitwer decided to start a furniture business. He decided to name it after Southern Utah's most famous street, St. George Boulevard. Even though Tony has retired, his family's legacy still lives in who we are, a company dedicated to one goal, making your house home. Boulevard Home. Home is who we are.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family. Offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 130 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in St. George or shop campingworld.com today.
We welcome you back inside the Burns and back inside our broadcast. Carrick Sagmiller and Drayson Ball with you as we get set for the tip-off. But before we do that, we've got to give you our starting lineups brought to you by Boulevard Home. We'll start with the visiting team, the Mountain Lions, led by head coach Lynn Plett in his 22nd season as a head coach. This is his 4th season at UC Colorado Springs. We mentioned that NCAA tournament run 3 seasons ago when they went 26-7 overall. They won their first round matchup in the NCAA tournament and then falling in a close one in the second round matchup. This UCCS team just 3 years removed from the NCAA tournament. So this is a team that knows how to put it all together. They're trying to figure that out this season. And head coach Lynn Plett, very accomplished as a head coach, 279 wins as a head coach and approaching his 50th win as a head coach at UCCS. They will start like this tonight. A 5'5" freshman guard, Desiree Pearson. A 6'1" sophomore guard forward combo, Anna DeVerne. A 5'9" senior guard, Maddie Gabler. A 5'9" senior guard, Kaylee Barnard, and a 5'5" junior guard, Abby Fikert, and that is a name you will hear a lot as they does the majority of the Mountain Lions, scoring 11.6 points per game as well as 4.5 points per game. Very good shooter from anywhere on the floor. Very good free throw shooter as well. Between her and Maddie Gabler at 9.2 points per game, and then Chelsea Pearson off the bench at 8 points per game. That's the majority of the scoring for this Mountain Lions squad. That is your UCCS starting lineup brought to you by Boulevard Home. Drayson, toss it over to you for the starting 5 for the Trailblazers.
Trailblazers will send out their same starting 5 from many games earlier on in the season. Lennon Pavlica, a 5'7" sophomore guard from Las Vegas. She'll wear number 1. Alongside Kesley Stevenson in the backfield, the 5'11" junior guard from Willard, Utah. She'll wear number 11. Number 12, Maddie Loftus, a 5'9" senior guard from South Jordan, Utah. And Dixie State's leading scorer, Allie Franks, at 14.7 points per game, the 5'10" senior guard from Redding, California. Rounding out the starting 5 for Dixie State, wearing number 42, the 6'1" senior forward from Bangwitch, Utah, Chesney Stevens.
Those are your Boulevard Home starting lineups. Dixie State in the home whites, red numbers, blue trim. UCCS in the road black uniforms, gold numbers with white trim. It will be Chesney Stevens jumping it for the Trailblazers. It'll be DeVerne for the Mountain Lions, and Dixie State will win the opening tap and control, moving right to left across your radio dial. Dixie State, first possession of this game, averaging 71.3 points per game as a team. They turn it over. A steal by Pearson on the first possession of the game, and she'll drive coast to coast and lay it in. 2-0 lead for UCCS.
A nice play there by Desiree Pearson, getting the steal, going coast to coast. Just got her hand in the passing lane there from Allie Franks. Is able to go coast to coast and lay that one up and in.
9:30 remaining first quarter. Chesney Stevens for 3 left wing to answer. It rims out. That was early in the shot clock. The rebound to UCCS, and here come the Mountain Lions the other way. They'll jump a 3 right wing on the way and banked it in. Maddie Gabler found glass, and it was friendly. UCCS a 5-0 lead.
Well, the bank is open, I guess they say.
The Trailblazers trailing 5-0 as London Pavlica will try to force a pass inside. And it's tipped out of bounds. 14 seconds to shoot, 8:58 on the game clock here in quarter number 1. It'll be Pavlica to trigger baseline right side. Pavlica listening, looking, finds her target, gets it to Stevenson, who hands off to Loftus to the right elbow. Double team, passes to Stevens, pump fake, gets the defender off her feet. She drives inside, lays it in with the right hand.
Yeah, beautiful move by Chesney Stevens, and all created off the penetration for Maddie Loftus. Got it to Stevens, one pump fake and got to the rim, laid it up and in.
Gabler left open, she'll jump a 3 left wing and knocks it in. Gabler is connected from outside 2 different times, and it's an 8-2 lead for UCCS. 8:28 to go. Again, a Mountain Lions squad looking for its second win this season and its first RMAC win of the year. Stevenson tries to force a pass inside to Stevens, and it's tipped and taken away by DeVerne. UCCS, dare I say, has dominated the first 2 minutes of this matchup. A lot of basketball to be played. Here's Barnard. Back to Gabler. Will jump it in the paint and score it. 8 early points for Maddie Gabler.
And she's got the hot hand right now, so you got to be on full notice if you're Dixie State defensively. She's got the hot hand. She's got off to a good start, 3 buckets in the quarter. You got to be able to defend her better.
Stevens looking backdoor to Allie Franks on the other end, and it's tapped off of Franks and out of bounds. Another turnover. Dixie State trailing 10-2. 7:49 to play in the first. Certainly not the start the Trailblazers had envisioned. Pearson will swing it around left side. Here's Fikert. Their leading scorer, but she's not been needed so far. Free throw line jumper on the way from DeVerne, and she'll bury it. The Mountain Lions are perfect from the field at 5 for 5.
And a 7-0 run over the last 90 seconds for UCCS.
A 10-point lead, 12-2. Loftus will fire a three, left wing, it's short, and into the hands of Abby Fikert. Fikert outlet pass to Barnard. Mountain Lions will set up, skip pass right side, Gabler. Quickly top of the key to Pearson. They swing into the left corner, Fikert will dump it inside DeVerne. DeVerne to Gabler, another three, this time too strong. The first miss of the night for the Mountain Lions, but she chases down her own rebound. Gabler, right elbow jumper, too strong. Off the back iron, London Pavlik the rebound, and she's fouled by Barnard.
And if you're Dixie State right now, you just got to weather the storm. You had a couple of misses, but you didn't get the defensive rebound there on that end. You know UCCS is hot right now. As you see London Pavlik getting fouled as she grabs the rebound, you just got to weather the storm at this point. You know that they're not a great shooting team, only shooting 33% from the field on the season, but they have gone out to a hot start. So at this point, throw the numbers out the window. You just have to be better defensively.
Stevens. To Stevenson, right wing, back to Stevens. Pavlica to the right elbow. Guarded by Pearson. Her back to the basket, finds Gillen. Three-point land straight away. Rolls off a screen. Drives inside. Stops the dribble in the paint. Got to find somebody. Will spin back to the baseline. Fire up a shot. No. And Chesney Stevens will get called for a loose ball foul. Fighting for the rebound.
Yeah, not a whole lot of action going on right now on Dixie State offensive end. Brianna Gillen just kind of had to create that play by herself. She got to the low block, but there was no one moving to try to get open as she was able to turn that one over. Stoppage of play.
Yeah, stoppage of play on the way back up the floor. Now the foul goes against Gillen, not Stevens. Now they want some time put back on the game clock. Or 6:19. Now they get it. Here we go. Let's play basketball. 12-2 Dixie State trailing by 10. In the early going. 6:15 to go first quarter. Right wing, Fikert. Looking inside of Madison Lord. She just checked in the game. She'll catch and shoot right side. Missed it. Brianna Gillen the rebound. Three consecutive misses for the Mountain Lions after 7.
Good rebound there by Gillen.
Consecutive makes. Dixie State trailing 12-2. Gone scoreless over the last 2:50. Stevenson looking to change that. Will kill the dribble, hand off to Gillen. Back to Stevenson. Three-point land straight away. Lobs it to the free throw line. And Loftus. Now to Gillen. Gillen working to the right. And it's tip taken away by Abby Fikert. Another turnover. She's all alone. She can lay this one up and in easily, and she'll do so. And a timeout taken by head coach J.D. Gustin. He waited and waited and waited to see if his team could play itself out of the early funk. It could not. So it will be a full-length timeout. We'll take it. 5:32 remaining. Dixie State trailing 14-2. We take the 60-second timeout and come back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
A lot can happen when your sidekick is a dog.
I got this.
That's why I use Zelle in the Mountain America app. It makes sending and receiving money fast and easy, so Kicker and I can keep the adventure going.
Zelle is now in the Mountain America mobile app. Quickly send and receive money from almost anyone with a bank account in the U.S.
Kicker, my sleeping bag.
I've got this.
All with the convenience and security of the Mountain America app.
There is a place where looking out means looking in, where an impression lasting only a few seconds will be imprinted on a life forever, where courage is forged and innocence rediscovered, where remembering is rewarding and forgetting unforgettable. There is a place where truth is felt and where seeing is believing. There is a place.
Circle A couple numbers on your stat sheet there during the timeout. This tells the story. 4 Dixie State turnovers and 8 points off of turnovers for UCCS.
Yeah, they're converting at a 100% clip right now, getting a field goal for every Dixie State turnover. You got to be more disciplined and take care of the ball early on, especially being down 12 early.
Pavlica will turn it over out of the timeout. It's tip taken away. Here come the Mountain Lions. Jumper in transition, short out the front iron from Barnard, and Dixie State grabs the rebound. UCCS cooling off a little bit from the field. Dixie State got to take advantage on the offensive end. Got to take care of the ball. 5 turnovers through the first 5 minutes of this quarter. Stevenson, the right wing, 15 on the shot clock, 5 even on the game clock. Stevenson will bounce to Gillen, right elbow. Gillen looking for help, puts the ball on the floor, into the paint. A jumper from 15 feet, rims out. It's loose, and Gillen will chase it down. Dixie State will reset with a fresh 20. Pavlica to the right wing, and Gillen. Gillen swinging it back right, Loftus. Loftus to Stevenson, right wing. Driving to the free throw line, passing inside, intended for Moyai, and it's into traffic and taken away by Desiree Pearson. UCCS quickly up the floor the other way. Here's Lord, will fire up a shot. Can't get it to go. Dixie State the rebound. Pavlica to Gillen. Drives baseline left side, bounces to Moyai, tip taken away. Turnover number 7. And Pavlica tips a pass out of bounds. On the way back up the floor, 3 substitutions for Dixie State as Coach Gustin finding a rotation, finding something that will work. Ashley Greenwood is in, Allie Franks is back in, and Deshka Olsen is in, alongside of Maddie Loftus and Brianna Moyai.
Mountain Lions just one of their last 6 right now offensively, so they've certainly cooled off, but you're not doing yourselves any favors by the amount of turnovers you've had.
3:57 to go. UCCS with possession. Top of the key, Telline. Now Pearson. Over to Moore. Telline, a deep 2 right wing as the shot clock expired. No, but tipped, and an offensive rebound for the Mountain Lions, and Moore. She's left open, and she knocks in a 15-footer baseline right side.
I mean, that's just all about effort right there. Ellie Moore was able to get that offensive rebound. She just outworked her defender on that play. That was just all about effort and heart.
16-2, Dixie State trailing by 14. Loftus for 3, left wing, too strong. And the rebound into the hands of the Mountain Lions. Telline will chase it down in the right corner. UCCS still wants to push it. Barnard to Pearson. Bounces to Telline. Telline into the corner to Pearson. Back to Telline. Now McKenna Baker. Swing it to Telline. Left corner will jump a 3 with Allie Frank's hand extended and in her face, and she knocks it in. What an opening quarter for UCCS.
I mean, they're just on fire right now. You just got to be better defensively, and then you got to get something going in your offense if you're going to want to try to stop this run.
19-2 and a 17-2 run for UCCS. Allie Franks misses off the right side, and Deshka Olsen will battle for the rebound. They're going to call a tie-up, or they're going to call a foul? They're going to call a foul. One referee was pointing towards UCCS's end as if it was a tie-up and a jump ball. The other referee came over and said no, a foul will go against UCCS, and the foul to Kaylee Barnard. Dixie State has got to score. Captain Obvious statement there, and a turnover right into the hands of UCCS and Ellie Moore on the inbounds pass. And a block on the other end as McKenna Baker trying to get a shot up, blocked by Dixie State into the hands of Allie Franks. Here's Greenwood. Inside of Franks. Franks to the inline. Passes to Stevens. One dribble. Layup? No, but free throws. Chesney Stevens does have the lone Dixie State basket of the first quarter. And she'll go to the free throw line to try to get 2 more points. Free throws brought to you by Vintage at Canyonlands.
The Trailblazers right now nearly 7 minutes without a bucket, without a field goal of any kind.
Free throw up and in. 3 points for Stevens, 3 points for Chesney Stevenson. Stevens will let the second free throw fly, and it's up and in. Break a stretch of 7.5 minutes scoreless for the Trailblazers. And with that, Kesley Stevenson will check back in for Maddie Loftus. 1:45 to go. Can Dixie State get a stop or two and add another bucket or two before this first quarter wraps up? Ellie Moore for three straight away, and it's in. The onslaught continues. 22-4, Dixie State trailing by 18. 1:30 to go. Greenwood drives inside, draws contact. She's bumped, and 2 free throws on the way. That's what you have to do when you're struggling from the field. You got to find a way to get the ball in the basket. And 2 times down the floor now, Dixie State has drawn a foul and trying to earn some points from the free throw line.
Yeah, Greenwood does a good job there, just being able to get to the painted area. She makes the first and goes into the contact. She doesn't shy away from the contact. She goes into the contact, making sure she gets the foul call.
She makes both free throws. Dixie State trailing by 16, 22-6, 1:20 remaining. Still a lot of basketball to be played, and this game could change in a hurry. Gabler will jump it from the left side, and it's up and in. She's got double digits in the first quarter. She's got 10.
Yeah,
24-6.
10 points on just four made shots, a couple of three-pointers in there as well.
Greenwood the other way, no on the layup. Offensive rebound, Stevens finds Greenwood, kicks it out. Stevenson, one more pass into the corner. Olsen for three, need it, too strong. Offensive rebound, Greenwood. Trailblazers will reset with 45 on the game clock. Greenwood inside, a bounce pass to Stevens. She lays it up and it rims out. Rebound to Katie Hovas.
And Stevens would love to have that one back after the great feed from Greenwood and the offensive rebound. That one's one you got to make, especially in a drought like you're in.
And not much difference she could have done there, it just rimmed out. Moore, baseline left side jumper, it rims out. Greenwood the rebound for Dixie State. Shot clock is off. The Trailblazers have 16 seconds to try to end the quarter on a positive note, trailing 24-6 after the first 9 minutes and 50 seconds here. Greenwood with 5 seconds, dribbling to her left, accelerates, gets in the paint, kicks to the corner. Stevenson to Franks, and she loses it through her hands. Dixie State did not even get a shot off on the final possession. 10 minutes of basketball in the books, and Dixie State trailing 24-6. A shocker through the first 10 minutes. Can they turn it around in the second 10? We will find out. 60-second timeout and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this. I need a one dance. And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
I got you right where I want you. I make this one, it's over. I win.
No pressure. Bring it.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the second floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
6 after 10 minutes of play, and not the start that I think anybody in this gym would have envisioned. UCCS try to force a pass inside. It's tipped out of bounds. Trailblazers just 1 of 10 in the first quarter with almost 10 turnovers, 9 turnovers, and that's really the story.
Yeah, that's been the story thus far, plus the hot start to UCCS.
And it continues. Chelsea Pearson for 3 left wing. She splashes it home. UCCS has been saving everything up for this one game to this point.
Interesting note to this point, 5 of 6 now from 3 are the Mountain Lions. They only make 5 3-pointers a game on average, so they've already met that just after the first quarter's ended.
Allie Franks, a right elbow jumper, no good. And the drought from the field continues. 27-6, Dixie State, a 21-point deficit. 9:18 to go. Still a lot of basketball to be played, and maybe not time to push the panic button yet, but certainly there's got to be a sense of urgency. Gabler puts the ball on the floor. She'll drive inside, and she's fouled by Chesney Stevens, trying to draw the charge.
Trailblazers made their first field goal at the 8:50 mark in the first quarter. Since then, 4 free throws, have not made a field goal in nearly 10 minutes of game action.
They're going to say that that was not on the shot. DeVerne will get a hand on it as it's passing back into action. It nearly went off her hand back over the timeline, but she's able to chase it down. Mountain Lions with possession as Hovaz will step back, let a jumper fly, free throw line extended. It's too strong, and Maddie Loftus the rebound. They leave her open. She pops the 3 straight away in transition. It's too short, and into the hands of Maddie Gabler.
I don't mind that play right there. Maddie Loftus, a great 3-point shooter in transition. No one closed out on her, just not able to get that to go.
Gabler left open, a 3 right wing, and she sinks it. Maddie Gabler, 13 points on 3 of 4 shooting from beyond the arc already.
Maddie Gabler just averages 9.2 points per game. Already got 13 thus far off 3 to 4 3-pointers.
30-6, Dixie State trailing by 24. Greenwood, free throw line jumper off the left side, and the rebound to UCCS and Gabler. Pass ahead to Pearson, and her pass is kicked out of bounds. Couple different subs in for UCCS. Tatum Talene back into the ball game. Abby Fikert back in. Fikert, the leading scorer for UCCS, hasn't even scored yet. Inbound pass to the left side, and Pearson. And a loose ball foul after the miss. Because I said Fikert hasn't scored yet, but she has. She's got 2 points. I just don't know how to read.
She had that steal in transition.
Yes, and the
where they
layup.
were able to go coast to coast and lay it up and in. Interesting thing to know right now, Maddie Gabler, 13 points on the game. Her season high this year, 16. That came in a game against, as I pull up my stat sheet here, came against Regis, Colorado a few weeks ago.
Pavlica, 17-footer left side is too strong, and Dixie State still just 1 field goal in this ball game. 30-6 deficit for the Trailblazers. 7:35 to go in the first half. 3 on the way. Pearson right wing, and it's in.
I mean,
and this is incredible.
This is almost becoming unbelievable right now. A team that just 31% from 3 right now, 7 of 8 to start this game.
33-6. Pavlica looking inside. Stevens to the right corner. Loftus to Franks. Pump fake, 1 dribble, 17-foot jumper right side off the left side of the iron and into the hands of Tatum Talene. Trailblazers now 1 of 15 from the field. Fikert, right elbow, guarded by Stevenson. Top of the key in Hovaz. Hovaz to Talene, she'll jump a 3, why not? Too strong off the back iron, Pavlica the rebound. 33-6.
Why not try it right now? 7 of 8 to start the game. You get your second miss there. Why not try that one?
Stevens open 3 straight away, and she buries it. Chesney Stevens with 7 of Dixie State's 9 points now, and the first field goal in over 12 minutes of basketball for the Trailblazers. 33-9. UCCS the other way. No. Talene offensive rebound. Mountain Lions reset. Pearson will drive inside. She can't get the layup to go, but she is fouled, and free throws coming. The foul against Allie Franks. This UCCS squad with 2 Pearsons, Desiree Pearson and Chelsea Pearson, although the spellings are different. Brianna Moyai into the game, and Maggie McCord, the freshman, into the game for Dixie State. For UCCS, Madison Lord is in. Lord, a 6'3" redshirt sophomore forward from Vancouver, Washington. Chelsea Pearson, the first free throw is up, and it is in. She's got 7. Desiree Pearson also checked back into the game. You got both Pearsons on the floor right now for the Mountain Lions as Chelsea Pearson makes the second of 2 free throws. She's got 8 points, and it's a 35-9 lead for the Mountain Lions. Dixie State has got to get going here. McCord, left elbow, holding. Puts the ball on the floor. Demoyai. Out of Loftus, free throw line to the left wing, and Pavlika spinning back left. Gets inside, off the window and in for London Pavlika. Dixie State trailing 35-11, but have made back-to-back field goals now.
Yeah, that was a beautiful move by Pavlika, spinning to get into the paint. An 8-foot floating jumper was good.
UCCS answers Barnard. She's got 4. And the Mountain Lions just can't miss. Everything that goes up goes through. 53% from the field, 14 of 26 on the game. 37-26. Dixie State trailing by 26. Moyai kicks it out. Pavlika to Loftus, left wing. Puts the ball on the floor. Maddie off the window. No. Forced it a little bit into the hands of Barnard. And the rebound to UCCS. Barnard will hand off to Desiree Pearson. Pearson to Lord. Baseline left side traveled. Tried to step back. James Harden gets away with that 15 times a game, but not Madison Lord. And the travel called. And the turnover gives it back to Dixie State.
Throwing a little James Harden shade.
Absolutely. Any chance I can get. And we'll leave it at that. 5:13 remaining. Dixie State trailing 37-11. Yes, you heard that correctly. 37-11. McCord inside of Michaela Johnson, just checked in. She'll drive inside, missed it, and she's fouled by Madison Lord. And the battle of the bigs, both 6'3", as Michaela Johnson takes it right at Madison Lord. And that brings us to the media timeout. Coach Gustin has been looking for somebody to bring some energy. Maybe it'll be Michaela Johnson. 4:57 to go. Dixie State trailing 37-11. 60-second timeout and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up, and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West, set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
.457 remaining. Dixie State trailing 37-11. And to say I'm shocked with the start of this game is an understatement. The Trailblazers still with 5 minutes to go until halftime. You'd like to look at it and say, we just take this in chunks. If maybe we can get this down, under 20 at the half, maybe down near 15. Go on a little run here as Michaela Johnson makes the free throw. Then it's a whole new ball game. But the Trailblazers are going to have to start taking care of the ball and taking care of business. Johnson's second free throw pushed it too strong off the back iron. The rebound to UCCS. 25-point game right now. We'll see what Dixie State can do in the final 4:50. Here's Lord working on Johnson. Will jump it up and over the top. No, Johnson had the ball and lost it out of her leg and out of bounds. He'll give it back to UCCS. Shot clock will stay at 20 as Dixie State did not have complete possession on the rebound attempt.
And that's where it's got to change for me for Dixie State. You got to be able to get every defensive rebound when they miss. Don't give them another opportunity as they're shooting very well right now from the field.
Here's Chelsea Pearson. Dribble handoff, Barnard. From left to right, stops on the right block, forces up a shot, and it bounces 3 times and falls in. That's the kind of night it's been. You throw it up, it goes in if you're wearing a black jersey tonight. 39-12, Dixie State trailing by 27. 4:20 remaining. McCord has it tipped out of her hands, and Barnard comes up with a steal. Now here's Pearson, Chelsea Pearson that is. It's too strong. The rebound into the hands of Maddie Loftus.
Yeah, turnovers right now really starting to hurt Dixie State. They didn't convert on that offensive possession, did UCCS, but those turnovers are really getting Dixie State out of the flow of their own offense.
10 turnovers for Dixie State in the first half. Pavlica looking inside Johnson, catches, passes to the left corner. Loftus a three, too strong. And Madison Lord the rebound. The Trailblazers have hit just 1 3 out of 7 attempts in the first half. Make it. Here we go the other way. Fikert high off the window, and it banks in. Dixie State the rebound. You know, UCCS banked in a three on its second shot attempt of the game. We should have taken that as an early sign of how this game was going to go. Pavlica, jump step, and then travels. Turns it over. Turnover number 11.
And the Trailblazers right now just 3 of 19 from the field after their 11th turnover. At this point, it's just you're giving up way too many offensive possessions. It feels like you're rushed offensively. You're not able to get into a flow because every other possession, it seems like you're not even able to get a shot up. So you can't get into a rhythm offensively. The turnovers are giving them extra possessions and extra opportunities to score. You got to be able to cut down on those.
3:05 remaining. UCCS with possession and a 39-12 lead. A nightmare start for the Trailblazers. Gabler to the right side, and Chelsea Pearson. Top of the key, here's Gabler with 13 points in the first half. Fadeaway shot off the front iron, it rims out, nearly fell through. And they're gonna call a foul against Abby Fikert. It looked like he was pointing at Maddie Loftus initially, but it goes against Fikert as the two were battling for the rebound after the play.
Hey, see, Maddie Loftus just trying to get a good box out, and then Fikert with the right arm kind of just pulls her to the ground. A good call there by the referee underneath the basket.
2:35 to go. Dixie State trailing 39-12. Olsen, top of the key, and Fikert. High post right side, Stevens now to Franks. Stops the dribble to Greenwood and Loftus. Loftus falls to the floor as she's dribbling, able to pass out of it, but she throws it right to Maddie Gabler. Turnover number 12. Gabler, little heat check three from the left wing. It's too strong. Dixie State the rebound. Into the hands of Greenwood. Through the legs, pass back to Franks. Free throw line jumper on the way, and it rims out. Gabler the rebound.
And you can hear the Dixie State bench yelling for Greenwood to push the ball up the floor. If they can get into transition and get some easy buckets in the early offense, that might get them rolling a little bit more, so where they can get some easy baskets, see the ball go through the rim, and if you do that, then you can settle into the offense and start chipping away at this lead.
UCCS turned the ball over on the way back up the floor, so Dixie State has got it back. 1:50 remaining. 25 on the shot clock. Greenwood off a Chesney Stevens screen, drives to the left. They'll kick it to Franks, and then tries to throw a pass into Stevens and throws it away. In fact, Stevens may get called for a foul here. And she's going to. They try to chase it down in the corners. Not a great pass from Franks.
But another
and if
turnover.
it could go wrong in the first half for Dixie State, it has.
And worse, I would
and worse.
say.
That may be an understatement. They may
and
not,
worse.
It may not do the first 20 minutes of basketball. It may not do justice. And I do not have, in terms of lowest points in a single half score, I don't have that stat in front of me. Maybe something I have to look up later tonight. Desiree Pearson catches and scores inside. And she's got a 4. And it's a 41-12 lead, 29-point advantage for UCCS. Franks to the left corner, Loftus throws to Stevenson. Stevenson to Franks, now to Greenwood. Spinning to the left, shot no. Rebound fought for and tapped out of bounds by Moyai.
Just absolutely nothing falling right now for Dixie State. Just 3 of 21 from the field. That's less than 15% from the field right now. Just a disastrous start in this first half.
UCCS the possession. 50 seconds remaining. UCCS, a team averaging 56.6 points per game coming in, and they're at 41 already. Fiker to Gabler, and it goes through her hands and to the Dixie State bench. Could that be something that's a springboard for Dixie State moving forward? Will likely be the Trailblazers' last possession of the half here. Got to make it count. Franks to the right side, high off the window, too strong. Offensive rebound, Moyai, and she's fouled by Chelsea Pearson, who rolls her eyes as the official calls the foul against her. And Dixie State will have it back. 21.9 seconds on the game clock, 20 seconds on the shot clock. It'll be Greenwood to trigger, baseline left. Looking, top of the key, Stevenson. To the right side, and Franks. You've got time here. Franks inside open is Brianna Moyai, and she catches and scores. Lays it up and in for her first bucket of the night. 41-14.
That was by far the best possession for Dixie State offensively. A good pass from Allie
And
Franks.
now an offensive foul against Gabler. Extended the forearm and pushed Allie Franks to the ground. And as we look at the replay, there wasn't a whole lot in that. The Dixie State will take it. 3.4 seconds remaining. Can they get a shot here? They'll pass it into Greenwood. Greenwood to half court, across half court to the free throw line at the buzzer. No, I don't think it would have counted anyway. And Dixie State will go to the halftime break trailing by 27, 41-14. UCCS head coach Lynn Plett was asking for an illegal screen at half court on the way up the floor, and I did see one of the officials kind of looked over at him and tapped his chest and said, "My bad, I may have missed that one." But either way, the basket did not go. So it goes 41-14 for Dixie State, trailing in the first half after 20 minutes of basketball. We always do this. We like to have quick hitter thoughts before we go to break, and we've been saying it throughout the entire first half. It's not difficult to see what has gone wrong. UCCS, yes, is shooting a decent percentage. Now they're down to 48%, which is good, but they've cooled off under 50% now.
But 7-11 from three.
But 7-11 from three. It's 13 turnovers for the Dixie State team, and it's 12 points off of turnovers for the UCCS squad, and the Trailblazers just 4 of 23 from the field. I mean, that's the early your quick hitter thoughts.
Yeah, certainly not the palindrome score I thought I'd see, 41-14, at least not in Dixie State's favor at this point in the game. But yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, it just seemed like they didn't ever get into a flow offensively. Maybe it was because of the turnovers just disrupting their offensive flow. Maybe it was because they just weren't hitting shots and they were, kind of trying to climb uphill because UCCS got off to such a great start offensively. Maybe it was a combination of the two. But either way, you've got to go into halftime right now and say, hey, that was a terrible start. It can't get worse than that. Let's reset. Let's get back into what we do offensively. Let's go out. They're not going to continue to shoot 7 of 11 from three at a 66% clip or whatever they're at right now. We're not going to shoot at a 17% clip from the field for the rest of the game. It's going to level out a little bit. It's not going to continue to be this devastating and this lopsided. So you got to just come out, reset, and start executing your offense one possession at a time.
And the question that is to be asked is the hole too big? I mean, we've seen crazier things in college basketball. Dixie State was trailing, the men's team was trailing by almost 20 at halftime or in the second half against New Mexico Highlands and came back and forced overtime and won that game. Is 27 points too big of a hole? It's certainly, it's not impossible. Dixie State will have its work cut out for it. It'll have to be an almost exact flip of the script. UCCS will have to go ice cold, and Dixie State will have to start hitting everything to come back from this lead. And it'll be interesting to see what UCCS does in the second half as well. Do they ease off the gas pedal? Do they try to slow it down? Or they try to take the wind out of the air and trying to escape out of here and get up to Salt Lake City with a win? And how much will that change their mentality? And what will Dixie State do? Will they come out and say, look, we have a tough game tomorrow night, and we want to take some positive vibes into that game and give this game all it's got, or will this nightmare continue. So that's what is to be determined in the last 20 minutes of basketball. Dixie State trailing 41-14 at the half. We'll see if they can turn things around in the second half. We'll take the full 5-minute halftime break. We will come back with the Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report. Trailblazers trailing by 27. Be right back after this timeout.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this. I need a one dance. And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back inside the Burns Arena. It is the Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report. The Trailblazers trailing 41-14 at the half, and certainly not the start to this game that anybody expected. UCCS came into this game 1-10 overall, 0-5 in the RMAC. We did, go back and look at the game by game during the halftime break here, during this 5-minute break we had. Over the last 4 games, UCCS has made some tremendous strides. They lost to Western Colorado 65-43 on December 7th. Lost by 10 at Regis 66-56 on December 13th. Then the last weekend of conference play, lost at Colorado Christian 70-65, and then at Colorado School of Mines on December 21st, 64-61. So this is a UCCS squad that has been getting better. Certainly the pattern would have said maybe they'd be ahead by 4 or 5 right now, not by 27. But as we welcome the radio side back in as well on our Radio Dixie 91.3 FM studio or audience, Dixie State trailing 41-14. Certainly not the start that anybody expected, and we mentioned before the break. I mean, I don't know how much more there is to talk about than what we said before the break. I mean, it all comes down to 13 first-half turnovers for the Trailblazers. UCCS has turned that into 12 points, which that ratio has gone down a little bit from where it was earlier in the game. But also Dixie State hitting just 4 of 23 from the field in the first half, 17%. Just 1 of 7 from beyond the arc at 14%. But the other story is UCCS, 7 of 11 from downtown. And this is a UCCS squad that is 15 points away from its season average. So Dixie State has its work cut out for it in the second half, but you can't give up here because this is certainly not impossible. And you can flip the script, and some people may look at it and say it's a 27-point lead. It maybe is improbable, but it could happen. My first year full-time as a play-by-play announcer, the team I was calling games for was trailing by 10 with just over a minute to go and won the game in regulation. So if it's possible to turn a 10-point lead around in just 1 minute, certainly you can turn a 27-point lead around in 20 minutes of basketball, but it's going to take almost an exact opposite of what happened in the first half. Dixie State will have to shoot over 50% in the second half. We'll have to score at least probably 50 points or more, maybe even 60 points in the second half to win this game, and they will have to have under 3 turnovers in the second half. And I know those are specific numbers I'm throwing out. You cannot turn the ball over anymore. Like less than 5 turnovers the rest of the way now if you want to have a chance for this Dixie State. You have to play nearly perfect in the second half if you want a chance to win this basketball game.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, you've been punched in the mouth right now, and it's going to be how do you respond? I mean, you're the team that's favored. You're 8-3 right now. They're 1-10. They have no pressure on them whatsoever. They've got out to a tremendous start. They can just sit back right now and relax. They have no pressure. You're the home team. You're the team that's favored to come out and win this game by a healthy margin. Well, you've been punched in the mouth. How do you respond? It's all about heart coming out of halftime break. We've seen Coach Gustin is very, very good at making halftime adjustments coming out of the halftime break, and he's have to have made a lot of adjustments coming out of this break as well. But for Dixie State, like you mentioned, you just have to be disciplined offensively. You have to be able to make the passes and not try to force anything. You can't get a 27-point lead back in one possession. It's one possession after the other that you have to continue to execute and be disciplined offensively. And then on the other side of things, defensively, they've got off to a hot start. They've started to cool down. They started off 6 of 9. Since then, they've gone 10 of 24, which is still a pretty good percentage, but they've cooled down significantly. They're 7 of 11 from 3. They're not going to continue to shoot at that percent for the rest of the game. They're going to cool off a little bit offensively, and especially now if they start to rely on the three-pointer because they've been hitting so many early on in the game, and they don't continue to shoot that much of that high of a percentage, you're going to get some extra offensive opportunities, but then you have to capitalize on the defensive glass, get every rebound, no more offensive rebounds for UCCS, and you've got to capitalize offensively when you get the chance. Like you mentioned, just about got to be perfect if you're going to want to win this one on your home floor.
Meanwhile, in Salt Lake City, Colorado School of Mines has a 1-point lead over Westminster at the half, and 20 minutes of basketball will be played there as well. But now you're looking at an opportunity to go, if Colorado School of Mines beats Westminster, that's a game they've dropped, and there's some opportunity to gain some ground in the RMAC standings. And there's just a lot at stake. And I know it's the first game back from the break, and we're already looking, I'm already starting to look ahead to that RMAC tournament because, you feel like that's where Dixie State has been building up to in this program, and the success that they've had and the improvements that they've made over the last few years is, you want to either compete for the conference championship or at the very least you want to be in that RMAC tournament as you leave the RMAC in Division II and on an upward trajectory. And a loss like this hurts those hopes. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat that. And quite frankly, I don't think Coach Gusson would want us to sugarcoat that. A loss like that, this absolutely would hurt those hopes. And this would be home loss number 3 already in RMAC play for the Trailblazers. And that's something that last year they were very good at home. And you can't lose at home if you want to have an opportunity to accomplish your goals. And so we'll see if they can turn some things around in the second half. Let's return inside our Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report. I mean, let's return to our Lonnie Boys Barbecue keys to the game, and maybe we say Lonnie Boys Barbecue keys to the second half. I mean, what do you need to do to win this game? I was throwing out some pretty specific numbers, but maybe there's some more little things. Drayson, give us some Lonnie Boys Barbecue keys to the second half here.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about in the first half, don't play down to your competition. I wish they would have played to their competition today. I mean, the start that UCCS got out to, but second half, key to the second half has to be, like you mentioned, turnovers. Take control of the ball. Get into your offense, get into your offense early. See if you can get some buckets in transition, and then you got to be able to get some rebounds. I mean, right now you're being out-rebounded both on the offense. Right now you're being out-rebounded, not just on the offensive glass, on the defensive glass as well. And so you got to be able to get every single rebound, maybe get a few more offensive rebounds, and get some easy putbacks on that end. And then, like I said, just take care of the ball. Be patient offensively. You're not going to get it all back on one possession. Be patient.
Dixie State trailing 41-14 as we get set for the second half of action. Dixie State going to go back to the starting 5. Both teams will do so. For the Trailblazers, it's Pavlica, Stevenson, Loftus, Franks, and Stevens. For the Mountain Lions, it's Pearson, DeVerne, Gabler, Barnard, and Fikert. Now here we go. 10 minutes up on the third quarter clock. Dixie State now moving left to right across your radio dials. We see it, you hear it. Of course, if you're watching on TV or internet, it's flipped because the cameras are on the opposite side of the court as Drayson and I down here courtside. Dixie State with the first possession of the second half. Pass inside. Pavlica catches, can't score, gets her own rebound, kicks it back out. Stevenson for 3, left wing. No, too strong. Ball is loose and chased down by DeVerne. Did she stepped out of bounds? Dixie State will have it back. Third time the charm for the Trailblazers. We'll find out.
And I love that play call coming out of the half. You know you're going to get the ball. You drop a good play to get Pavlica a nice look at the rim. Can't convert, but she gets her offensive rebound.
Pavlica tries to force a pass inside, and it's tip taken away. UCCS quickly up the floor the other way, and a lay-in up and in for Kaylee Barnard.
And another turnover leads to points for the Mountain Lions on the other end.
43-14. UCCS the lead. Stevenson to Franks. Franks has not scored tonight. Stevens, right wing 3 on the way. Too strong. Rebound to Desiree Pearson. Pearson will push the ball up the floor. Lob in to DeVerne. To the right wing and Barnard. Barnard to Pearson. 10 to shoot. Pearson back to Barnard. Getting into the lane, stops, fires, and scores. And certainly things have picked up where they left off for the first 2 possessions for each team, and the lead is over 30 now. 45-14. 8:35 to go. Pavlica to the right corner to Stevens, puts the ball on the floor, kicks to Franks, fires a 3 straight away. Short, bounces off the left side and into the waiting hands of Maddie Gabler. Trailblazers are 0 for 5 in the second half so far. UCCS the other way, a short jumper in the paint, it's too short. And Stevens the rebound. Dixie State has it. 45-14, 8:07 to go. I said 0 for 5, it's 0 for 4 of the Trailblazers here in the third quarter. Loftus, jump step in the lane, gets a layup to go. They're going to wipe it off the board. Offensive foul.
Yeah, and you see
Good call.
Yeah, that was a good call. The defender had her heel above the restricted area. If you have your heel
was off
down,
the floor.
it was off the floor. The restricted area only applies to on the ground. If you're above the restricted area, that line no longer factors in. She did a good job of getting her heel off the ground, therefore drawing the offensive foul on Maddie Loftus.
7:50 remaining. Dixie State trailing 45-14. Pearson, left corner. Swinging around to Barnard. Barnard angle right side, tip taken away. Dixie State the steal. Stevens to Loftus. Loftus will slow it up. Looking for help. Here's Stevens. They leave her open. She'll jump a three, and it's short, and it'll bounce out of bounds. Did Fikert touch it? She did. Dixie State will have it back. Abby Fikert got caught in between trying to reach for it or not reaching for it. Thought about it, tried to pull back. It's too late. Tipped it out of bounds.
Yeah, and she knew it. One of the few mistakes from the Mountain Lions all game tonight.
Pavlica. Quick inbound pass to Stevens. Back to Pavlica. Baseline left. The jumper, no. Dixie State has been getting good looks. Just not hitting. You'd think it was the other way around with this being Dixie State's home floor. Gabler for three. It's short. And tapped out of bounds by Hovaz. A lot of times, as Dixie State will get it back, a lot of times teams, when they come into this arena for the first time, will struggle, especially at this level, because they're not used to playing in an environment that's more wide open. They're used to having a gym wall, 5 feet behind the hoop. UCCS certainly has not struggled with that tonight, 48% from the field. Stevens to Loftus. Back to Pavlica. No look pass inside. They'll swing it back around. Loftus, three, right wing, too strong. Stevens fighting for the rebound, but it falls into the hands of Madison Lord and the Mountain Lions. Gabler left open. She'll fire a three. It's too strong. Why couldn't she have missed some of those in the first half? This is what Dixie State players, coaches, and fans are wondering. But an offensive rebound, and the Mountain Lions reset. Pass inside to Lord, off the window, no. Rebound, Deshka Olsen.
And I love what you said earlier, Carrick. Dixie State's getting good offensive looks. They're getting the shots that they normally get in the series of their offense, but they're just not hitting anything right now.
Franks will try to whip a pass into the lane to Olsen, and she's fouled. Push from behind. Stevenson in. You go and you look at the players for Dixie State right now that are scoreless. Stevenson's scoreless. Franks is scoreless. Loftus is scoreless. It's your three leading scorers right there, and can't expect to win a ball game when they're scoreless. And a reverse layup for Chesney Stevens from right to left is good with a foul, and perhaps that'll inject a little energy into this Dixie State offense.
When you talk about Chesney Stevens, just 7.4 points per game for the senior forward from Panguitch, Utah. She's got 9 already in tonight's game. Has a chance to get to 10. Would be the third time all season she's got into double figures.
Misses the free throw. Free throw is brought to you by Vintage at Canyonlands. Dixie State within 29, 45-16. And basketball is a funny game. It can change in a hurry, but Dixie State going to need a miracle at this point. Travel called against UCCS. The Mountain Lions doing their part over the last four minutes of this ball game. Turnovers, missed shots. UCCS just 2 of 6 from the field here in the third quarter, but Dixie State just 1 of 8. Not been able to chip away at the lead. Olsen, catch and shoot three, left wing, bang! Up and in for Deshka Olsen, her first bucket of the night. 3-pointers brought to you by Mountain America Credit Union. 45-19. Dixie State has scored on consecutive possessions for just the second time tonight. Talene to the left side, now inside to Moore, off the window, no. Can Dixie State score 3 consecutive possessions for the first time tonight? We'll see. Pavlica with Dixie State trailing 45-19 with 5:08 remaining. Stevens puts the ball on the floor, hands off to Pavlica. pump fake to the free throw line. Fakes a pass into the corner. Instead kicks to Stevens. They leave her open, so she'll jump a three left corner. No. And the rebound to Hovas and UCCS. 4:48 remaining. 45-19. Gabler, a runner in the lane. Yes, you felt like that was Dixie State's chance. And they couldn't convert on the last possession. 15 points for Maddie Gabler to lead all scorers. Stevenson. With 4:25 remaining, here's Stevens on the right elbow. To Franks. Left wing. Drives to the right. Off of a Stevens screen into the right corner. Pavlica for three, and it's good. London Pavlica has 5 points. And Dixie State within 25. 47-22, and Dixie State almost had a steal. Instead, it goes right back to Moore, and she lays it up and in.
And another Mountain America three-pointer from London Pavlica. A couple of three-pointers starting to fall right now. See if they can't go on a quick run here in the final 4 minutes of the quarter.
Franks behind the back dribble. To Stevenson. Now to Franks. 49-22. Dixie State trailing by 27. Franks, deep two, right corner. Left it well short. And the rebound to UCCS. Pass ahead to Moore and a layup in transition. Missed it. Dixie State the rebound. Here's Pavlica. Got to push it. Pavlica across the timeline on the right side of the floor. Has it. Three-point land straight away. Here's Stevenson. To Pavlica. Right wing three is short. And Abby Fikert the rebound. UCCS inside to Moore. Top of the key. Talene for three straight away, and it's good. Rattles it home.
Second three-pointer for Talene on the afternoon. 8 three-pointer made overall for UCCS. 8 of 14. First three-pointer in the second half.
2:50 to go. It'll be a full timeout, a media timeout. 52-22. Dixie State trailing by 30. 60-second timeout and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network. Welcome back inside the Burns Arena. Dixie State trailing 52-22. For you TV and internet viewers, you're getting to see the Dixie State kiss cam up on the video board. Wow. Trailblazers trailing by 30. 52-22. 2:50 remaining here in the third. And at this point, you know, I kept saying in the first half, you know, there's a lot of basketball to be played, but at this point, they may be running out of basketball to be played. 52-22. Trailblazers with possession. Never say never. Stevenson to Greenwood and tipped out of bounds by Fikert.
And right now, I think, you know, you might not be able to surmount a 30-point lead as we're going to go to a timeout here, but just one quick thought before we go. You might not be able to surmount a 30-point lead at this stage in the game, but you still got a game to play tomorrow. You got to work out whatever kinks you have tonight and go into tomorrow's game to try to be a little bit more disciplined than you are today. You got to be able to work out whatever you need to get ready for tomorrow's game.
Timeout on the floor. We're going to keep it right here. Timeouts are brought to you by Dairy Queen, 52-22. Trailblazers looking ahead to a matchup against Colorado School of Mines. And when you look at this result, I mean, if you want to look at the matchups on paper, which we can do, Colorado School of Mines had numbers very similar to Dixie State's coming into this game. They were 6-4 coming into the weekend, 3-2 in the RMAC. Dixie State was 8-3, 3-2 in the RMAC. And, it was, you were almost thinking, get through this game tonight and then have the big matchup with Colorado School of Mines tomorrow. And UCCS has, come out. You're only 5 games into it, like a 22-game conference season. So for UCCS, I mean, all is not lost for them at this point in the year. And this could be a catalyst to big things for the Mountain Lions going forward. But Colorado School of Mines running stride for stride with conference leader Westminster tonight in Salt Lake City. So for Dixie State, you have a tough matchup tonight, and then you've got to be able to have a short memory. Obviously learn the lessons you need to learn from this game, but you mentioned during the break, this is kind of a burn the tape type of a game. You take very little look at this film and say, it's all about tomorrow now, and see if we can figure out. Back in play we go. Dixie State with the possession. Here's Franks. Getting inside, kicks it back out as the path is cut off. Here's Olsen with it as it's stripped, regains with 5 to shoot. Into the left corner, Moiai ran over a defender, but she was fouled before she got inside. The foul against Ellie Moore. So Dixie State will have a fresh 20. Here we go. Lob back in. Here's Moiai. Quick pass to Greenwood, and it's tipped out of bounds. And Greenwood looking at Moiai saying, hey, just shoot that. You're wide open from 15 feet. Just take it. Greenwood to trigger again. Baseline left into Stevenson. Stevenson to Allie Franks. Franks will jump it, score it. Her first bucket of the night comes at the 2:12 mark of the third quarter. Dixie State's leading scorer and 4th all-time leading scorer. And a steal on the other end for Franks. And it's knocked out of her hands on the way back up the floor. Dixie State will retain the possession. 1:54 remaining. Brianna Gillen will check in, and Franks will check out. Inbound pass to Greenwood. 1:50 to go in the third. Dixie State trailing 52-24. Here's Gillen. Inside to Moiai. Layup, no. She's fouled. Couple of free throws coming for Brianna Moiai. And it has been things like that, though, as we get to take another look at this here. And it hit from behind, but it seems like a shot that maybe she could, she was frustrated with herself. But it's just things like that. Dixie State has not been able to do the little things and not been able to convert on those types of attempts throughout the night.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you get a shot like that where there's no one between you and the rim. You've blown by your defender. You've gotten around your defender, and you've got a clear look at the rim. Yes, you were fouled from behind, but it didn't seem like it affected the shot that much to where you could have laid that one up and in and had an and one opportunity. It's just been things like that where the Trailblazers have been getting good offensive looks, but just have not been able to make the shots.
Moiai will split her trip to the free throw line. Dixie State trailing 52-25 with 1:30 remaining. UCCS the other way, and a whistle and a foul inside as Fikert hits the deck. A foul will go against Stevenson. 3rd team foul against Dixie State. Make that the 2nd team foul. Scoreboard operator was really quick on the button. 1:30 remaining. 17 to shoot for UCCS. And an offensive foul. There's going to be a turnover, or a throwaway, or an offensive foul either way, but Telline gets hit with an illegal screen. Gives it back to Dixie State with 1:23 to go. And if you're Dixie State, you'd love to go quick here. Maybe get an attempt or a bucket and still have time to get the ball back again. 1:15 on the game clock, 21 on the shot clock. Here's Gillen. Right block, stops the dribble to the free throw line. Moiai, pump fake, drives inside, lefty layup good for Moiai. She's got 5. Dixie State within 25.
Great move from Moiai. She got it about free throw line extended, make one pump fake, put the ball on the ground with the left hand, got all the way to the rim.
52-27. And a turnover. And that was Ovaz in the left corner. Just didn't see the pass into her hands and lost it out of bounds. 51 seconds remaining. And Dixie State could go quick again here and still get another 2-for-1.
It's a 25-point lead right now. I mean, you were outscored in the first half 24-6, so that was an 18-point gap. If you get this down, maybe get a 3 here, get it down to 22, or maybe get it back to 20 somehow in the last minute, not inconceivable that you can make some sort of a comeback in the fourth quarter.
Trailblazers with a 20-second differential between game and shot clock. Gillen will try a 3 and hits it. Brianna Gillen up and in, 52-30. Dixie State within 22, 28 seconds remaining. Can the Trailblazers get a stop? Here's Gabler, it rims out. Trailblazers the rebound. Here's Greenwood. Kick to the corner, Olsen left corner, bang! Deshka Olsen for 3. She's got 6, and Dixie State within 19, 52-33. The Trailblazers on an 11-0 run to cut this thing under 20. And Olsen, here's Stevenson, is going to get called for a foul as Fikert put up a deep 2. They're going to say hit her on the arm. And we're going to take a look at the replay. She got her on the arm. We'll have to take another look at that. Drayson and I seeing that replay differently. Here's Fikert. Free throw up and in. Let's take another look at that if we can back in the truck. Here's a different angle.
This will be a good angle. I mean,
no,
she gets the ball.
That was all ball.
All ball.
Fikert to make both free throws. I stand corrected. The other angle, it looked like the hand came down on the arm. And it'll be a 21-point lead, and Dixie State had some momentum, and that would have been even bigger momentum on a shot block going in through the fourth quarter. With the foul rings out, and Fikert makes both free throws. 54-33. Dixie State closes the quarter on an 11-2 run. Can they carry it into the fourth quarter? We will find out. 60-second timeout and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
Are we there yet?
Yep. We're here.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
(54-33) Dixie State on an 11-2 run. 10 minutes up on the fourth quarter clock, and the Trailblazers keep it going here. Try to make things interesting. Jumper on the way, air ball from UCCS and out of bounds. Anna DeVerne. And Dixie State will have it back. Well, it seems like the lid is off for Dixie State now. What can they conjure up here in the fourth quarter? Moiai to Gillen. Gillen to Moiai. She'll try a 3 right wing. Too strong. Dies on the back iron. Offensive rebound, Greenwood. And diving for it as it's knocked out of her hands, but goes off of UCCS, and Dixie State will maintain.
Trailblazers 4 of 10 from downtown in that third quarter. Again, three-pointers brought to you by Mountain America. If they can continue to shoot that rate in the fourth quarter, they're going to have a good chance.
Greenwood inside, a blocking foul, and that's the right call. The defender was in the restricted area. It was Fikert. Close.
Yeah, it looked like Fikert may have got that left hand and had it kind of around the hip and was kind of pulling her down at that point. But yeah, good call there by the referee. Had a good angle on it. Trailblazers get the ball back.
Greenwood to trigger baseline left side. 9:28 to go in the fourth. A lob out to Moiai. Back to Greenwood. Drives the inline, kicks the corner. Stevenson catch and shoot. 3 right corner, too strong. Ball tapped. Offensive rebound, Dixie State. Ashley Greenwood has been really active in this second half for Dixie State. She got the tip. Stevenson came up with a rebound. Olsen to Stevenson. Back to Greenwood. Crossing over to the left, kicks to the corner. Olsen fires a three and hits, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Greenwood. She left her feet knowing the defender was there and tried to angle her body away. Man.
I don't love that call. She wasn't going into Fikert. Fikert kind of just stepped in at the last minute. She was set, but there was not a whole lot of contact made on that play to merit Fikert falling down in that sort of manner. Yes, she was there, but the contact wasn't made on Fikert.
8:58 to play. DeVerne, jumper the other way, and it's good. Talk about a 5-point swing. 56-33. Gillen for three to answer. Left wing, no. Ball is loose. Offensive rebound at Deshka Olsen. Greenwood to Stevenson. Catch and shoot three. Straight away. Too strong. And the rebound to Gabler. 8:28 remaining.
I think Dixie State just settling right now a little bit too much for the three. They've got some open looks, but haven't been hitting. See if you can get the ball inside.
Here's Gabler driving in the right wing, kicks to DeVerne. Left side jumper up and over the rim and out of bounds, but off of Dixie State. UCCS maintains possession. London Pavlica will check in.
And going back, with the three is that you've got 3 or 4 open looks and you haven't hit any that count at least in this fourth quarter. Get the ball inside, see if you get the ball going through the rim, and then it'll start to open up the three-pointers later on in the corner. You can't get it all back in one possession. You got to go one possession at a time.
Here's DeVerne. Stolen away by Deshka Olsen. Dixie State has got it back. 8 minutes remaining. Dixie State trailing by 23. 56-33. Moyai for Olsen. Olsen to Pavlica. Trailblazers being a little more patient this time around. Pass to Moyai, gets it up off the window, and it's short off the glass and then off the rim. And here comes UCCS the other way. Chelsea Pearson to Gabler. Gabler spinning to the left. Left open in the lane, missed the jumper. And London Pavlica the rebound for Dixie State.
Yeah, good defensive position there to force Gabler into the fadeaway jumper. And a good rebound by Pavlica.
Moyai jumps it from the free throw line. And that ball falls into the hands of UCCS.
Dixie State just 1 of 7 from the field over the last couple of minutes.
Fikert a deep 2 for UCCS, and it's up and in. She's got 6. Timeout taken by Dixie State. It's 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. Timeout's brought to you by Dairy Queen. And now they've changed their minds. Referees say we're going to stretch this thing to the media. Trying to hurry this fourth quarter along. 58-33, Dixie State trailing. 6:54 to go in the fourth. 60-second timeout and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network. (58-33). This has not been Dixie State's night. They had an 11-0 run going late in the third quarter. And then a foul was called against Dixie State, and UCCS made 2 free throws to stop the run. And kind of felt like that was Dixie State's chance. Had to keep that run going, had to keep that momentum going, and leads back out to 25. Trailblazers had it down to 19 at that point.
And then you start the quarter going 0 for 6 over the first 3 minutes and 6 seconds. You go 0 for 6, and you have kind of gotten out of that momentum that you carried into the fourth quarter.
Meanwhile, after 3 quarters, Colorado School of Mines leads Westminster 59-54. Greenwood inside, layup, rims out. I mean, that was halfway down and popped out. That's the kind of night it's been for Dixie State. And UCCS has come in and played one heck of a ball game tonight. Barnard to the right side and Fikert. Fikert for Pearson. Slows up, now drives inside. Shot is partially deflected by Greenwood and back into Greenwood's hands. And up the floor we go the other way. Stevenson for Stevens right through her hands. And to UCCS, here's Barnard. Will lay it up in transition, too strong. Gets her own rebound. Will swing it out to Chelsea Pearson. And UCCS will reset. If you're UCCS, you should be running this clock down under 10 every possession now. Barnard inside to Lord. A couple of dribbles, floats with the right, missed it. And Dixie State with the rebound. If you're UCCS, there's no reason to shoot the ball before 10 seconds on the shot clock here. Greenwood, a runner in transition, too strong. And Chelsea Pearson the rebound. 5:35 remaining. %22% from the field tonight for Dixie State. UCCS couldn't get that one to go. Dixie State the other way, and Loftus couldn't handle the pass. Too much on it. A full court pass, and she saves it in, but back to UCCS. 58-33. 18 on the shot clock. Barnard is fouled as she drives inside. 4:59 remaining. Dixie State trailing 58-33.
Dixie State still yet to score in the quarter. At this point, 0 of 8 to start the quarter after coming off an 11-0 run to end the third.
58-33. Dixie State trailing by 25 with 4:45 to go. Fikert to Pearson, Desiree Pearson that is. Her three is short. Dixie State has the rebound, it's Greenwood. To Loftus. Loftus to Gillen. Dribble handoff Greenwood, back to Loftus, three-point land straight away. Running inside, it's tipped out of her hands and out of bounds. It looked like it might have gone back off of her, but they'll keep it with Dixie State on a 14-second shot clock and 4:23 on the game clock.
And if you're Dixie State right now, I mean, you know, this is just the opportunity. You're not going to come back and win this game, obviously, with 4.5 minutes to go. The opportunity to just kind of work through the kinks of your offense, get things figured out for tomorrow's game.
Stevens drives inside, and she'll lay it up and in.
And Steven goes into double figures for the third time all season.
She's got 11. 58-35, UCCS the other way. And a layup up and in for Desiree Pearson. Olsen, right wing three to answer. No, Stevens can't handle the rebound. It's knocked out of her hands and out of bounds. Meanwhile, the mob for the floor, the handle fell over, and it almost hit the referee right in the face as he was walking the inline. They'll get up and they'll fix that. The mop was up on the back of the standard. That's what we're deduced to calling play-by-play for. I'm not quite on
Is
Kevin.
it called standard or is it called stanchion?
Stanchion, thank you. Dixie State can't get it to go. Greenwood had it. Here comes UCCS the other way. If it was attached to the wall, it'd be a basketball standard. Stanchion was the word I was looking for. Thank you for that. UCCS the other way. Here's Gabler. Three-pointer straight away, and it's up and in. 18 points for Maddie Gabler.
And have a night, Maddie Gabler. 16 points was her season high coming in. She's got 18 tonight. Right now, she is 4 from 8 from the field. Or 4 from 8 from three-point land, excuse me.
Ashley Greenwood will bounce one in. She's got a 4. 63-37. Dixie State trailing in this one, 3:15 to go. And do we have a foul or a kicked ball? Kicked ball. UCCS will maintain the possession. 21 seconds on the shot clock, and UCCS with possession. Here's Baker. She'll drive inside, kick to the right corner. Barnard with 13 to shoot. Driving inside, swinging it around. Here's Pearson, left wing with 8 to shoot. Working into DeVerne. Left block, float with the right hand, high off the window, no. Offensive rebound, put back Gabler, no. And if you're Gabler, you should have just dribbled that one back out and continue to run clock. Instead, here comes Dixie State the other way. Gillen will drive inside, layup, short. Offensive rebound, back into the hands of Gillen. She's got it, she'll kick it to Olsen. Now to Stevens, fumbles, regains, now loses again, tipped out of her hands. She's got it back, she's fouled. She's saying there's got to be something somewhere. 3 people slapping at me. 2:30 to go. Trailblazers with possession. Again, tomorrow night, take on Colorado School of Mines. There won't be any time to mourn over this one. A tough game against a tough Colorado School of Mines squad tomorrow. Loftus, top of the key to Gillen. Gillen loses. Over to Olsen. Olsen is bumped on her way inside, and that's against Hovas. Hovas doesn't like the call, but it will stand. Greenwood will lob to Gillen, spinning to the right, gets in the paint, misses, tipped out, and into the hands of UCCS, and here's Hovas. And if you're the Mountain Lions, you should just hold this one here. Talene to Hovas, inside to Vern. Shot clock at 18. To the left side, and Gabler. They'll swing it to Talene. 5 to shoot, 1:45 on the game clock. Here's DeVerne with 3 to shoot. And she may have traveled. In fact, I think she did travel, but they didn't call it. She'll throw it off the window and in. That's when you know it's your night. You can take 6 steps on the play and then throw an off-balance shot up and it banks in. 65-37. Trailblazers with possession, 1:25 remaining. Here's Loftus into the left corner, and Gillen. Gillen driving into the lane. Kicks it out, Loftus for 3, left wing, bang. Maddie Loftus makes her first 3, her first bucket of the night, and with that will ensure that Dixie State does not score less than 40 points for the first time in the D2 era.
Another Mountain America three-pointer by Maddie Loftus, as UCCS misses on the other end and rebounded Desh Golson.
Loftus, try another one. Missed it, tapped around, UCCS the rebound. And UCCS is running a fast break here, and they'll make a jumper. 25-point lead, apparently not big enough as they push it up the floor and make a bucket in transition. $20 points for Gabler. Lob into Stevens. She'll drive inside. Her layup, reverse from left to right, won't fall in. And the shot clock should be off. Usually, when it gets under 30, that automatically turns off. Not sure why it didn't there. There's 19.5 seconds remaining. We'll see if UCCS will actually dribble the clock out or if they'll take another shot. Here's Talene. And it does look like they are going to dribble it out. To the left side, here's Gabler. And Dixie State will fall to 8-4, 3-3 in the RMAC. And UCCS, their first victory since the opening weekend of the season. They're 2-10 and 1-5. They're getting their first RMAC win in convincing fashion, 67-40. We'll keep it right here and just segue in to a quick Guru Sports Grill post-game report. Drayson, how do you sum this one up in 30 seconds or less? I mean, we'll be here long in 30 seconds, but I don't know if there's much more to say about this one.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it earlier on one of the breaks we had off air, and you mentioned it once on air. Maybe this is just a burn the tape game. You know, you come out, you only shoot 24% from the field, 25% from three. They get off to an incredibly hot start. They go 9 of 16 from three, 56% and 43% from the field. It just was a tale of one team was extremely hot from the get-go, one team was extremely cold from the get-go. Yeah, you can talk about Dixie State had a lot of turnovers. They ended up having 18 turnovers. Yeah, you can mention that. That's almost more of just kind of a symptom rather than tells the story of the game. The story of the game really came down to one team being incredibly hot, uncharacteristically hot, and one team in Dixie State that just could not get anything to go. It's one of those burn-the-tape games that you kind of just look back and you say, it just wasn't our night. It was clearly their night. And that's all you can really do at this point, just to try to get the bad taste out of your mouth.
I laughed while you were talking. It wasn't anything you were saying, but the film crew, the person that was running the game film for the women's team came down and to give J.J. Long, video coordinator for Dixie State women's basketball, to hand the camera back over, and she said the words, and I quote, "Do you want me to give you this for real, or do you want me to just burn it?" So, of course, you can't burn it for real because they've got to submit it to the synergy, the game exchange thing. It's a conference rule. Got to get it in within 24 hours or you get in trouble. But they'd like to just burn that one and pretend that game did not exist. So, it's going to be up to the men's team tonight now to salvage this night and make sure that the fans that came out tonight go home happy. Trailblazers fall in this one 67-40. SkyWest Airlines player of the game, Drayson, pretty easy tonight, I think, at least offensively for Dixie State. 11 points for Chesney Stevens, 4 of 10 shooting there. She had 4 rebounds, a block, and a steal as well. I mean, no one was really terrific from the field. I think that's got to be really your only option tonight. Chesney Stevens, 11 points. Third time she goes to double figures tonight.
Yeah, that's really the only option. You know, I mean, she was the only consistent scorer for Dixie State. I mean, if you can count 11 points, you know, and the way that they were scoring so sporadically, if you can mention scoring and consistent in the same breath, I mean, she certainly was the best of that tonight. Lena Pavica led all Dixie State players in rebounds. She had 8, 5 points to go along with 2 assists as well. I mean, she played pretty good, you know, generally speaking, especially in a game where you lose by 30 points. But you got to be Chesney Stevens with 11 points.
You almost made it a whole game.
I almost
did.
That
was the first time.
I caught myself.
The first time.
But I caught myself. So that doesn't count because I caught myself.
Oh, my goodness. Catering Concepts play of the game, I think for me, I think it's got to be plays. I think I'm going to go with the 11-0 run that they had late in the third quarter that kind of started to swing the momentum, and then the foul call sucked the wind right back out of that. But Dixie State scored, I think, on 4 consecutive possessions during that run, and they were able to get up to an 11-0 run. We'll call that our Catering Concepts play of the game tonight. Let's take a look at Westminster and Colorado School of Mines tonight. Try to give you a final score on that before we wrap this thing up completely and go on to the men's game, because that's the opponent tomorrow. You're looking at a team in Colorado School of Mines. They're good at everything, it seems like, and this women's basketball team is certainly capable basketball team. Westminster ranked number 12 right now in the country. They were losing last I saw to Colorado School of Mines. We'll see what it is now. How about this? 75-63. Colorado School of Mines a 12-point lead over Westminster. So the road team, it's looking like, is going to get the win in both of these games. And now Colorado School of Mines will be on a high, and it's going to be a tough game for Dixie State. And I mean, the last thing you want to do is lose both of these games this weekend on your home floor. But Dixie State is going to have to come out and try to put this game behind them and play a completely different game than tonight. And these are the kind of games that, as a team, they define you. You hate that, but you have an option right now. You either let that hang around and bother you over the next 4 or 5 games and completely ruin your season, or you can let it be a stepping stone and a lesson learned and bounce back from it and have it be a catalyst moving forward. And it'll be interesting to see the direction that this Dixie State team and its players decides to take tomorrow night.
Yeah, no rest for the weary. You got a team that's coming in, beating the top team in the conference, and they're going to come in, like you mentioned, thinking that this conference is in their control right now after defeating the number one team in the conference. They're going to know that you lost to UCCS last night, and maybe you can use that to their advantage. Maybe you can hope that you play a really good game. Colorado School of Mines comes in thinking, oh my gosh, they just lost to the 1-10 UCCS team. We're going to roll over these guys, and maybe hopefully that can be used to your advantage if they come in a little bit more overconfident. But obviously you can't rely on any of that. You gotta expect them to come in as, you know, expecting them to be the top dog in the conference and to be able to respond and play accordingly. And that's all you can really do for Dixie State. I love what you mentioned. This could be a turning point for this Trailblazers team going forward for the rest of the season. You can either hold on to it and let that define you for the rest of the season, or you can forget about it, move on, and realize that there's another game tomorrow. If you come in, you know, you haven't lost anything in the standings right now with the number one team also going to lose tonight, so you haven't lost that, but you have the opportunity to flush down the toilet tomorrow and get past it with a Colorado School of Mines team coming in tomorrow afternoon.
We'll have head coach J.D. Gustin joining us here in the Guru Sports Grill post-game report. If we can get the cord out long enough here. There we go. You got that, Coach. We'll pop that down just a little bit for you. J.D. Gustin joining us here in the Guru Sports Grill post-game report. And Coach, you look at those types of games. We were joking that, you know, kind of probably as a coach you want to just go burn that tape and not ever see that game again. Every once in a while you're going to run into games that are just tough ones and kind of everything going wrong right from the start. But I mean, we've kind of given our thoughts on it. But as a head coach, I mean, what do you do in that situation? I mean, enlighten us. You just kind of say, okay, tonight was tonight. Let's go win tomorrow. And what? Well, it's a tough one tonight.
First of all, I appreciate you guys even having to do that game. I apologize that you guys just had to waste an hour and a half of your lives or whatever it was. But yes, obviously disappointing night for us. Disappointing effort. We just talked about, regardless of the plan, the defensive plan I think was dialed in for them in terms of how we're going to guard them. Yeah. Offensively, but if you can't show up ready to play with energy and effort and enthusiasm, all that stuff goes out the window. And like you just said, we get to play again tomorrow. And yeah. I really give Colorado Springs a ton of credit. Like their team played his team played way harder than my team. And that's really disappointing and discouraging. But I still don't think that's the way that my team plays night in and night out. But they don't normally make threes like that.
Yeah.
And they did. And I mean, that's just part of the game. That happens. That happens at all levels, men and women. And sometimes you just got to take it.
In some ways, that's life. And let me be the first to say that.
And that's what we just talked about.
Yeah.
That's right.
And let me be the first to say that we know firsthand that that's not the way your team plays, you know, night in and night out. We've seen at the highest highs as well. And so for me, I'm expecting them to bounce back perfectly against the Colorado School of Mines team that's about to win. They're about to beat Westminster. They're up by 9 with about 50 seconds to go. So, you know, a lot of work cut out for you tomorrow night. Obviously, there's the effort there. It did seem like offensively there was good looks. Some of them just wouldn't go in, and maybe it's just not your night. I mean, was other than giving more effort, were there one or two things maybe that you went in and at least drew on the board and say, hey, tomorrow night we've got to do this and this in order to win tomorrow night?
Well, first of all, you got to take care of the basketball. We had 13 turnovers in the first half, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we turned it over 5 times in the first 4 minutes or whatever. Our plan was first and foremost, we wanted to get back in transition because they really do a good job of running transition. Second was take care of the basketball. You can't. And then, are you guys all right?
Nope.
And
you're good.
Yeah, and then we wanted to do a good job on the board because they go real well to the offensive rebounds and did a pretty good job of that. But I don't know. We couldn't. Our best player had a tough night. Allie was completely out to lunch, and she does this at time. And so when that happens for me, I'm trying. Who's up next? And then I haven't found that yet, guys. Yeah. And we obviously need to find them, especially when you guard our wings. You know, because Kesley and Maddie are good, but they had off nights tonight. like you said, we got to bounce back and get one tomorrow, and we can. Well,
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about it.
100%.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Coach. And I know it's tough to look back on this one. I mean, can you say it just was a tale of two teams? One team that was unbelievably hot and uncharacteristically shooting well from the field, and one team that just was getting open looks and not hitting them. I mean, yeah, you can mention the turnovers that got you out of the flow of your offense, especially early on in the first half. You mentioned the rebounds, you got out rebounded, but can you also just sit back and say they were just really hot, we just weren't making shots?
Well, I think so. And like you guys said, it happens everywhere, and you have to.
Yeah.
We just talked about character, like you said, people, character, team character. I'm really interested to see how our team bounces back tomorrow night.
Absolutely. So, Coach, appreciate you stopping by.
You guys,
in the post game.
You.
It'll be better tomorrow.
For sure.
I know it.
All right. Have a good night.
Okay. You too. Head coach J.D. Gusson joins us in the Guru Sports Grill post-game report, and after a while, there's not much more to say about that one. It was even the same way Monday night. 2 blowout wins in an exhibition, and there's not much you can break down about a huge blowout win either. But they'll bounce back, and I do not expect Dixie State women's basketball to play that same way 2 nights in a row. Trailblazers fall in this one 67-40. They'll be back at it tomorrow night against the Colorado School of Mines team that is 26 seconds away from beating Westminster. They're up 80-69, and they'll be riding a wave of momentum. And Dixie State will, in terms of that game, maybe it'll be, what they needed to make sure that they're on point and ready to go against Colorado School of Mines because, if you can split, you're okay. You hate to lose on your home floor, but still fairly early, not even halfway through the conference season. If you can split and let that be a lesson learned, you could still make it in to that RMAC tournament, but got to play well tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's the good thing about this sport. It's a make-or-miss sport. It's a make-or-miss league, they always say. Make-or-miss sport. If you make, a lot more of those shots, the good looks that you got, this could have been a completely different game. If you get those same looks tomorrow and if you knock them down, it's going to be a totally different feeling of that game if you're getting those same open looks and you're knocking them down tomorrow. And I think it's good about this sport is that from night in and night out, you can have a complete stinker like you did tonight, and then you can come out, play a very similar game, get the same looks tomorrow, but instead you make them, and it totally changes the dynamic of this game for you.
That's the final. Dixie State falls 67-40. We'll be back at it tomorrow night. We have the men's game coming up. Myself and Mike Olson will be on the call for that one, so stick around and join us in a few minutes for the men's game against UCCS. For Drayson Ball and the entire CEC TV crew and Martin Kelly back in the Radio Dixie 91.3 FM studio, I'm Carrick Segmiller. Thanks for listening or watching. Have a great night.